When people are making their contender list this offseason, it's seeming like almost everybody forgot about the Indiana Pacers, the team that just went to the finals in 2025 and the conference finals in 2024. Obviously now coming off of a gap year after Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, but the team has made a lot of moves in the last year and a half, and I think it's time to talk about them again in that contender light. And no, the team does not look the same from that 2025 Finals team or that 2024 Eastern Conference Finals team, but the moves that the team made over the last year definitely sets them up for another title run this next season. So obviously, first off, we have Halliburton coming back from injury. Now, an Achilles tear is very scary, but Halliburton took the entire season off and is taking his rehab very seriously. And he looks very good. Look at this self-lob East Bay he threw down just a couple of days ago. Halliburton, he looks so excited too, dapping everyone up on the team, looking super hyped, running around, jogging, skipping. He's looking really good, and that Achilles looks like it's fully healed at this point, and we absolutely love to see that from Halliburton here. So assuming that the Pacers are getting a good Halliburton back on the team, that automatically makes them a way better team than they were last year when they did not have him for the entire season. And holding it down without Halliburton was Pascal Siakam, being an all-star, averaging 24 points per game on 6.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists on 48-35 shooting. Pascal Siakam was doing everything for the Pacers, even though they sucked. He was playing like an all-star. And Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Nesmith are also still on the team, two starters from those two teams we talked about before, and both of them got good development this season. Even though they weren't winning games, they were still out there playing basketball. Especially Andrew Nembhard showed a lot of growth, going from 10 points per game in the 24-25 season to 17 points per game last season. Also a huge up in assists as well, from 5.0 assists the year before to 7.7 last season. So Andrew Nembhard showing that he is getting better no matter what, even if the Pacers aren't trying to win. And Andrew Nembhard, their starting shooting guard, getting better can only help the team. And as far as Aaron Nesmith goes, he played the same amount of games as the year before, 45. His points did go up, and so did his assists, but his efficiency did go down because he's taking way more shots without Halliburton out there, and also he's just trying to get more shots up because the team was bad. So those are the in-house improvements really for the Pacers in the starting lineup, but obviously now they have a new starting center in Zubac. No more Miles Turner. He was gone before the season to the Bucks, and then they traded for Zubac. So how will this new center and Halliburton work in this next season? With Zubac now replacing Miles Turner, there's obviously a new fit because Zubac is not a stretch big. He is a much more paint-centered big. Well, if we look at the Pacers 2024-2025 season stats in total, we can see that they were the 28th rebounding team in the NBA when it came to rebounds per game. They were also 22nd in opponent field goal percentage and 17th in points per game, both below league average. And while Miles Turner really does provide that offensive spark, being able to stretch the floor and shoot the three-pointer, he's also great at deterring shots at the rim, but when it comes to rebounding, he only averages 6.5 rebounds per game last season with the Pacers. And that same season, Zubac's last really fully healthy season, he averaged 12.6 rebounds per game and was also named to all defensive second team. So when you really look at it like that and you're weighing the pros and the cons of each center, adding in Zubac for this team honestly feels better to me. You're getting a better defender, a better rebounder, and someone who's more efficient on the floor. And also with Andrew Nembhard showing an offensive leap, Pascal Siakam still playing like an all-star, and then also adding back Halliburton, getting an all-defensive center on the team that can rebound 10 rebounds per game is going to be absolutely amazing for the Pacers. But the Pacers also have shaken up their bench a little bit, and we all know to have a good championship team, you need a deep bench on the roster. So what does the Pacers bench look like after this last gap year? Well, obviously there's no more Benedict Mathurin getting shipped out in the Zubac trade, and he was huge for this team during their finals run, 16.1 points per game on 45-34 shooting. He was playing nearly 30 minutes a night as well. So they obviously had to make some sort of adjustment to bring back some depth pieces, and well, the Pacers did just that. They went out and signed Kelly Oubre Jr., an amazing wing forward for this team that's more defensive minded than Benedict Mathurin was, but can also play offense as well. This last season with the Philadelphia 76ers, in 50 games, he averaged 14 points per game, 5 rebounds on 46-36 shooting, and also had 1.4 steals per game. And another way the Pacers are getting better heading into the 2026-2027 season is the backup five. If you guys remember during that finals run, they were literally running Tony Bradley, yes, Tony Bradley at the backup 5 in the finals, and when he couldn't play backup 5, they were sliding Siakam down to the 5 for a small ball lineup. But now they have more of a legitimate backup 5. Yes, Jay Huff isn't the best backup center in the entire league, but he did lead the league in blocks at one point, if you guys do remember that, and he can also kind of shoot the three-pointer, shooting 4.5 threes per game. I mean, that's a lot of 3-shot per game. And another player that was injured during the 2025 finals run was Jarace Walker. He averaged 11 points per game this last season on 76 games, also able to shoot the 3-ball extremely well, and he can also slide down to the 5 at some points. So far, missing out on Benedict Mathurin doesn't really seem like the end of the world with these other bench attributes, but we're not even done yet. The bench for the Pacers goes even deeper. They still have Obi Toppin, who is a huge part of that 2025 finals run and that comeback against the Knicks. I mean, this guy is a huge piece off the bench for them. And right behind him, they have another 3-and-D wing in Ben Shepherd. This guy has been getting minutes ever since he came into the league in big moments and is a huge 3-and-D wing for this team. And probably the Indiana Pacers' best bench player in their true sixth man, TJ McConnell. I mean, where were you when in the NBA Finals, TJ McCollum in the third quarter had 13 points in 6 minutes, almost willing the Pacers to a win here? It's clear that TJ McCollum is one of the best bench players in the entire NBA. I definitely think he has a case for a 6th man of the year run next season. But guys, there are still more players on this Pacers bench that can get real NBA minutes and be effective. Quentin Jackson has proven to the league that he is a real NBA player and can get some solid minutes on a winning team and provide value on the court. Giga Maggies as well. If you don't know, now you know, but Quentin Jackson averaged 9.1 points per game, 2.3 rebounds, and almost 3 assists on 47-35 shooting. Guys, this is good efficiency. And if that still didn't sell you on Quentin Jackson, we'll just look at his top games from this season against good teams too. 25, 6, and 10 double-double, 19 points in a win against the Knicks, 21 against the Pistons, and 16 points against the Sixers. These are his top games from last season, guys. He will be a part of this rotation. And also at the end of the Pacers bench, they have Kobe Brown, a 6'7" player, 6 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and 1 assist per game next season in 15 minutes. He also shot good from 3. This guy could step up in case of injuries. I'm not saying he will be a rotational player like Quentin Jackson, but I could still see him getting minutes on this team. And then obviously the young project, Johnny Furphy. Obviously he had that ACL tear, which sidelined him for the most of last season, but I still think he could be a great player in the NBA, and especially for the Pacers, if he can get healthy and rehab well and come back and play to his full potential, this is just another piece on this Indiana Pacers team. So this is the ESPN's Pacers depth chart projection for next season. I really hate the way that they're doing this, but honestly, it's just a good way to look at it, so we're going to take this. But it has the starters as Halliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith, Siakam, and Zubac, which I already think is one of the best starting 5s in the entire Eastern Conference. You have 2 all-star talents in Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, and all defensive talent in Zubac and Nesmith is right behind that. And having Nembhard as a third option, especially after that offensive leap he just took, is a huge luxury. So off the bench, we have TJ McConnell, Kelly Oubre Jr., Jarace Walker, Obi Toppin, and Jay Huff. I don't know why they have Larry Nance Jr. ahead of Jay Huff on the line, but I guess that's what they want to put there. And we can see even deep in this depth chart, we have Ben Shepherd, who is getting minutes for this team in the finals and in the playoffs the last 2 years. We have Quentin Jackson, who we talked about, and Kobe Brown. So where are the problems with this roster? Where are they going to run into problems in the regular season and in the playoffs? Well, I feel like they really addressed the defensive issue with adding Zubac, and then also having Halliburton back really solves any playmaking problems this team was running into last season. I feel like the biggest problem for this team going into the 2026-2027 season is going to be scoring. And I know that might sound weird with them having Siakam, Halliburton, and Nembhard on the team, but at the same time, none of those guys are really go get a bucket and you can't stop me type of players. And yes, all of them have had those moments, especially Nembhard in the finals in game 1 against Shea. If you guys remember that combo, that was insane. But they really don't have a scorer on this team that can average over 25 or 26 points per game. And I'm not saying they need that to win the finals, but it's definitely something you want to have. I feel like this team could easily get cold from 3 and then fall out of a game very quickly. But honestly, as I'm going through this in my head, I really feel like that's not as big as an issue for this team as it used to be back in the day, especially with having Zubac on the team. If Halliburton and Nembhard get cold from 3 and so is Nesmith and everybody else, they can go to Zubac on the low block for 3 or 4 possessions in a row, especially if he has a good matchup. Back when the team had Miles Turner, if everyone was going cold from 3, they really only had Pascal Siakam to give the ball to get into the paint and get a bucket down there. But now Zubac, one of the better offensive rebounders in the NBA, can grab those bricks from three from Halliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith, or whoever else is shooting them and tip that back up and in, or even, like we said, go to the low block, take a couple dribbles, and get a dunk. I feel like this Pacers team is way too slept on right now. People are picking the Thunder, the Spurs, the Sixers, even the Celtics over them, and I feel like they will remind everybody next season that they were just in the NBA Finals and in Game 7 against the Thunder, who had won 68 games that season. Bookmark it now. I predict that this team is a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, wins over 50 games, and even makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals again against the Philadelphia 76ers with LeBron and Jaylen Brown and everybody. But I love you all. Please like the video, subscribe, hype the video. Thank you guys so much. Let's try to hit 10K. We're going for 10K subscribers. I love you all. Peace.